excited to see Yomiel's 4 minutes before Yomiel's death. No, he can't. "5:26 p.m. Timisk Park. 10 years in the past." So why did you put food in the leaves, Lynn? That's gross. Kitty! Here it is. The meteor falls. The fragment splinters. Breaks that. And straight into Yomiel's back. And this is what we're working with. Seems we're seeing a bit more, though. Interesting. Oh, look at little baby Lynn! She's so cute! The gods? What? Jowd, you better not be going all SMT on us. I know, I was just trying to make a joke. Well, if you remember, Jowd said he was going to shoot Yomiel anyway. Random chatter. Nothing really important. Now let's see what we can do. Yes, yes it is. That's a good question. Where were her parents? So this is your hint. We have to find some way to stop the fragment, since we can't get rid of Lynn. So first things first, looks... We don't really have a lot to work with here. So let's wait and see if a path opens up for Sissel. Kitty! Just like that it has. At least in part. So can't quite reach, it seems. Sissel can't quite reach to get over there. It's still not quite enough. Not really anything in Missel's reach. The problem is, by the time the glass gets broken, it's too late. We can't alter the fragment's course if it's if it breaks that. Problem is, I don't see any other option here. Also, since it's time between death, when the fragment actually hits it, we won't get control. I'm not really sure, but let's see if we get any hints at the, when we have to rewind again. I can't! I tried that right away, but Missile is just too short to reach. It's a yam. But notice Missile can't reach there either. But I have an idea. Because I just saw something that I missed the first time through that I need. We're still going to have to wait because Sissel still can't move until Lynn gets picked up. But I missed this last time. That didn't seem to change anything, though. So we have our bookmark here. That said, dropping the sweet potato actually allows Sissel to get over here. I think I might actually need to jump into it while it's moving to make that work. So I don't think Sissel can reach from here. But then again, he might not have to. It looks like Missile might be able to reach that potato. Find out. No, he's still just short of reaching. But Sissel's just sort of getting it, so I do in fact have to jump into the potato when I hit that. Sissel can't go through the water. Too early. But Sissel can now actually reach that. Which takes Missile up here. Swap that. Swap that. And when the meteor fragment comes... we only need it for a couple of seconds. Now we just wait and see if that's enough. We'll find out! Strikes the statue. And straight to Detective Jowd. It pierced directly through his knee, it looked like. Welcome back! You missed the meteor fragment going straight through Jowd's knee. He fires. It's not over yet! We have one thing we can use. The sweet potato. Ooh! That seems vaguely problematic. It might have missed his heart! He's still alive. So it missed his heart. And it wasn't long enough to go all the way. And there's one more problem. His weight is pulling it down. And since Jowd's knee was injured, he can't go after Lyn. And there's nothing for us to swap it with Missile. Sissel absolutely refuses because he's not going to let a little girl have the memory of death. Yeah, I noticed. You haven't really been helping. Oh, it'll get over there for Missile to swap it! Yes, I believe you do actually have to hit that as fast as you can. That won't help much, but it will buy us some time. the glass falls and breaks, and a couple more seconds are bought. Now, do you remember what Yomiel's been doing all game? He is now in his unconscious body. And fling! Just in time to get her out of the way. Yomiel threw his own body in harm's way to get Lyn out of it. We rewrote his death, but keep in mind he's also away from the Temisk meteor. And without a ghost trick enabled ghost around, his soul will likely not wake up this time. Oh, that's so cute! Now what about Yomiel? He's not dead! That guy is resilient. Yomiel's not really a bad guy when he's actually sane. The kitty! Oh no! That's right where the meteor shard went. Uh-oh. That's a bit ominous. Yep. Oh, there's a reason for that. But yep, Sissel is the black cat. You might have remembered, in the junkyard, a black cat was what knocked over Yomiel's body. "10 years ago, I was a little kitten that wandered into this park." I'm gonna start crying. Yep. Sissel and Yomiel live together. In Sissel's body. So are you ready to hear where Sissel comes from? Yeah, no kidding. So remember this? Here's a question for you. Where do you think Lynn's first stray shot went? Are you sure about that? Lynn's first stray shot hit the bag and killed Sissel. That is why his spirit was in the junkyard. Though you might notice something interesting. Sissel was dead, but Yomiel was possessing his body. That means that Yomiel's spirit had to be in his body, but what's strange about that? And there's something about his fiancée as well. If he was just a little bit too late, wouldn't there have been something he could do? So why didn't Yomiel rewind time to 4 minutes before their deaths? And this was actually hinted at with Lynn earlier. If a ghost takes on an appearance that is not theirs, they cannot regain their memory. Yup. Yomiel didn't have the power to stop us. Yup. Precisely. Yomiel did not get the ability to rewind time to 4 minutes before death. That meant he couldn't save his fiancée, and he couldn't save Sissel. Missile and Sissel both got it, but Yomiel did not. Yep. Remember, Sissel, they can follow you very easily. The final fate we averted refreshed everything. Cabanela and Jowd's mistakes did not kill a man, and Yomiel was able to atone for the horrors he did in this timeline. And just like Sissel, all Yomiel needed was someone to hold out a hand. Yup. Remember that? Because all of us are present at the fate being averted, none of us are going to forget what happened. Just a little bit. Kinda literally, actually. And Sissel is a sweetie. Sweet, sweet little kitty. Also, they call Sissel a kitten, but the fact that, Lynn has to use both arms to hold him makes me think he's not really a little kitten. Puppy! Indeed it does. It averts everyone's deaths. Yomiel never turned into the Manipulator cases never happened, and that one country was never given that power. Yep, that's actually meant to be a hint. Sissel never forgot what the things were, he just didn't know what they were. Also, by the time you get to Missil's death, maybe not Missil's death, a little after, you actually have enough to guess what he is. Because you saw the black cat at the very start of the game, and those were the only two corpses in there. So if you find out that Sissel cannot be the man in red, there's really only one more logical explanation. Funny thing is that some of the things of the game actually hint at it. There are, I forget what the other two are, but I believe the soundtrack has a C or an A in red. I think the manual has the other letter in red, and then you saw our trick button had the T in red, spelling out cat. Now who is this? It's Ray, the lamp. Also, a more subtle example of the cat is the fact that we toy with the mouse like mad. The poor little thing. So you ready to figure out what Ray's deal is? I bet you can't guess. Another version of tonight's events, huh? Smush. I still love that Sissel essentially admits he can't think of the hitman as dead, or otherwise he'd feel obligated to avert the deaths. So hey, Pi, remember how you said that Yomiel probably shouldn't be, killing people with his own hands because of that meteorite fragment thing? And yes, in this timeline they shot Camilla. Yep. Missile died too close to Yomiel, and it gave him the powers of the dead. Of course, as we know from just doing it, there was nothing that Missile could do there either without Sissel's ability to manipulate objects. So what does he do? He waits. Raised your identity? Missile. The Missile who went back 10 years and waited. For 10 years as a ghost, all by himself, Missile waited. I think that's just a cosmetic choice by him. Remember, spirits can take on whatever appearances they want. I think he's just doing that by choice. Could be metaphorical. Then again, he could be talking about how his spirit weakened as time passed. There's one other thing Missile can't do that we can. Yup. Now think about how many times that has been utterly vital. It wasn't Ray in the lamp this time. Also, apparently the two dudes over there are just completely ignoring the moving desk lamp. And here's why the timeline didn't work the first time. Because Sissel simply wasn't interested in helping out Missile. And yep, that's why, if you remember in the very first episode, Ray here told us that we were the man in red. He sure did, didn't he? So you were asking about the vanishing at dawn here? He did indeed. The dawn time limit was more to avert all of this fate. So he gave us that time limit to make absolutely certain we would get to Yomiel in time. And since we've averted all of that, Ray is going bye-bye. Also, want to know something kind of funny as well? A subtle nod to who Sissel really is. You saved 9 people during the night. 9 lives, yep. They may not be Sissel's, but Sissel saved 9 lives. Also, that part always gets me. That's what loyal little doggies do! So let's see what this new present has in store for us. Yep, we have the Prime timeline where Sissel refused to help Missile out. We have the game timeline where Sissel and Missile work together, and we have the new timeline where Yomiel's death was averted. Also, you might notice the gun is missing from the frame there. I think Jowd wanted to take no chances whatsoever. And this time, Camellia's contraption worked as intended. So I love the fact that Sissel hid in the cabinet with her. Yep, that badge she's always been wearing is the one that he gave her 10 years ago. Also notice that this is 10 years later, but she's only just now becoming a detective, which means that without Jowd's murder case, she wasn't motivated to push as hard. Seriously, that looks bigger than a kitten. Is that just me? Oh, we know. I just feel weird that he keeps getting called a kitten. He's definitely too big for a kitten. And here's Camilla's mother. She's actually really pretty. And where Camilla gets her hair, apparently. So remember how I said that only the people at the time of Yomiel's aversion would remember? Lynn doesn't have a core anymore. And as you can see, Sissel does indeed have the meteorite fragment lodged in him. Sissel's taking this a lot better than Yomiel did, that's for sure. It's probably not too hard though, since a lot of people will gladly take in cats and they don't have to be lonely too long. Well, I would. Missile! No, but there's no doubt Camilla will probably keep him. What he's gonna do in the future is the question, but we'll see. I love that Missile tried to spin in as well, though. That was just great. Camilla! You're getting sauce everywhere. Stop that. That's dirty. Apparently they are. So yeah, let's go ahead and recap the whole thing. 10 years ago, Yomiel, who was a computer programmer, got pulled in to help reorganize the nation's secrets. Unfortunately, thanks to all the spies, people were suspicious and his name came up as a suspect. He was arrested and Cabanela interrogated him very fiercely, enough that Yomiel sort of snapped and became hopeless. When Cabanela left the gun behind, Yomiel took it and ran, causing Jowd to run after him. This is when he took Lyn hostage and got killed by the meteor fragment. When Sissel approached his body, Yomiel possessed him and stayed with Sissel for a while, until he managed to remember who he was. He went to get his body back, checked on his fiancée, but she had committed suicide to rejoin him in the afterlife. About that point is when Yomiel decided to take his revenge on everybody that night, once he started being able to manipulate people. The fact that he could not eat, he could not drink, he did not feel thirst or hunger, he did not feel temperature, he did not feel pain. He was literally a walking corpse, completely alone but for Sissel. And the power to manipulate that, plus the power to manipulate living people, essentially twisted his mind and set the whole game in motion. Yeah, his existence really reminds me of, I have no mouth and I must scream. If you want me to be honest. Because living in your own corpse that cannot be harmed, that has no sensations whatsoever, that sounds kinda like hell. Yomiel and Sissel are no longer friends in this new timeline, but I'm sure Detective Jowd would bring Sissel to meet Yomiel sometime. Well, he never went to prison. Remember, the only reason he was in prison was because Yomiel manipulated him. So here's Beauty and Dandy. They just kind of up and vanished, but here they are again. Also, I'm pretty sure that's not correct, Dandy. And they're definitely dead. I really love Ghost Trick. It can be a little frustrating in points, especially because the whole idea of trying to figure out how to avert death is a trial and error. But it is a really, really good game, and I really love the story. The twist seems to come out of nowhere, but there's actually so many hints littered through the game. It's great. And Yomiel's whole story just breaks my heart. It's definitely a game that I think everybody should play if they actually have patience for puzzle games and a bit of repetitiveness. But the Fate Aversion checkpoints are the whole thing to help you out with that. Honestly, I loved most of the game. I think only those two spots in the Jowd prison segment and the submarine were parts of the game I actually really detested. The other parts could be hard, but I honestly really, really love them. I love playing this game again, and it just reminded me that it was as good a game as I recalled. Sadly, they never actually made a sequel, which breaks my heart as well. This game was so good that it really, really should have gotten a sequel, and the whole thing about ghost powers changing over time would have very easily justified any new powers Sissel would get for the game. I also really like the art style and the character designs as well. They're honestly just so good. But to be fair, this is technically in the same universe as Phoenix Wright, so I'm not really all that shocked there. Nor am I shocked at how good they put together the mystery. Also, apparently without the manipulator cases, they're just trying to charge a mission instead. Seems like everybody's living happily, though. All the people we saw tonight. And there's Bailey going on with his dance. Hmm? Now, who could that be? Bailey, no! Bailey, calm down! Also, one other interesting thing, at least I found about the game, is that no character is actually given their full name. So we don't actually know if Jowd is the family name, if Cabanela is the family name. It only ever gives one name for every person, which is actually quite fitting of a cat. Another cute little thing that I never remembered to show off was that if you check everyone's descriptions in the little log you get, they keep the names, the descriptor names. So like Lynn would still be the redhead, because Sissel never writes their names down, because that's mostly how he thinks of them, is just through their descriptors. Look who it is! I think the implication is that he's been in the hospital for a lot of his prison sentence, which is why it was 10 years long, for essentially just fleeing police custody. Which is a crime, but I don't know if it's like a decade-long crime. That's generally what everyone seems to accept that I know of, though, is that Yomiel was just in the hospital for a very long time. Hasa taking 2, yes. And there's the picture he painted. Sissel in the painting animates and jumps down into the picture. It's been a long, hard night with a lot of pain and a lot of trauma, but in the end, everyone was saved. Let's see, I don't believe this game... Yeah, the main thing this game has in, for New Game Plus is just chapter select. Where you can just pick whatever chapter you want to actually start out. Let me show you what I meant. See, if you look underneath their name, it just keeps telling them through the descriptors, even if he actually knows what their name is. Yeah, that was Ghost Trick. That's all there is to the game. I am so glad I got to show it off, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed replaying it.